Hey everyone, and welcome to another installment of Tom's World. We're back in Neshaminy State Park because, well, it's been a little while since we visited here. I can't say as we all know, I work here, so I'm here 5 days a week. But there's a reason we're here. And the reason is I have come across some new information about the history of Sarobia. More specifically, the only existing building left of Sarobia. And get this, it didn't even belong to Sarobia. Yeah, kind of weird, huh? Anyway, we're also going to check out the garden, see how it looks now. It's been a little while. And I'm also going to showcase the new fence that my coworkers and I have constructed. Looks a lot like the old one, but it's a lot more sturdy. Anyway, let's go check this out. All right, so first and foremost, we got to talk about the history of this building right here. For the longest time, I presumed that this was constructed at the same time as all the other buildings that used to be all throughout the property that is now Neshaminy State Park, but used to be Sarobia, owned by Robert and Sarah Logan. This actually predates Sarobia. This goes back to the 1800s, if you can believe that. All the other buildings, they had buildings all back there, all over here. The mansion was on the other side of the garden. Attached to that wall was the carriage house with a greenhouse on the other side of it. All that was all constructed by the Logans. Now, the mansion, I'm not sure. Maybe part of it was there when they moved here and they built onto it. Maybe they destroyed the one that was there and made a new one. I don't know. That much of the history is unclear as far as I can find. I did look for it this morning. Couldn't find anything about it. But yesterday I visited the Ben Salem Historical Society. So I went over there to look some stuff up, and because I realized I had time for the first time in a while. And I started talking to a gentleman there who is well more versed in the history of the Logans, not just from Sarobia, but like throughout time. And he was telling me that this house is actually from the 1800s. And it's ironic that all the other buildings and everything that were made are now all gone, and the oldest building that was on the property still stands. Is it in the best condition? Absolutely not. We've had some vandalisms, we've had all kinds of things happen. The structure of the inside is not all that great right now. I don't know what we're going to do about that, if we're going to be trying to fix that. Yeah, so this building is actually older than anything else that's in this park. Within the park perimeters, we'll say. There are some things just on the outside that are a bit older than that, but that's a story for another time. So as I was there at the Historical Society talking to that guy, I was really blown away by this news. Like, I had no idea that there was any part of the property that went past the timeline of Sarobia. So that makes this little building that much more significant to this area, this land. And well, I just had to share that with everybody. So here's the new fence. Okay, like I said, it looks a lot like the old one. It's just there's more openings in it. As you can see right here, let me get the sun glare off. There's an opening right here, whereas before the only opening on this side was over there by that little doorway. Right there. Now the fence is a lot more structurally sound than the old one. Each post is in there with cement. Each rail of the fence is double boarded. So this should last quite a long time. Should be well over 10 years until we got to replace this, hopefully. And here's the state of the raised bed garden, cold frame, whichever you'd like to refer to as. A lot of it's done for the season. As you can see, black-eyed Susans, yeah, they're done. A lot of the phlox is done. A lot of the plant life in general. And the new tree that we have over here, which isn't the newest tree in the garden, and I'll get to that. You can see that the leaves are starting to change color on it. None of the leaves on the trees around here, outside of the one inside the middle of the hostas, are really changing colors yet. But throughout the park, there's random trees that have already been changing colors. So you can come take walks here. It's still really, really nice. In the next few weeks, more and more trees are going to start changing colors. These ones here are going to turn a bright yellow before the leaves fall off. and they're dropping all kinds of the fruits. This is a ginkgo tree, like all of these all across here, and they drop these little fruits, if you want to call them that, that really stink as they start to decay. There is another new tree in the garden. I don't know that I've showcased this one before, but it's been in here for a little while, and this was in honor of one of the fallen volunteers that we've lost over the last, I think that was at least a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago. And they put this tree in honor of that volunteer about a year ago, somewhere in there. And then we have another tree that was just put in the far corner of the garden there for yet another fallen volunteer. It truly is sad that they're gone now, but they did devote a lot of time and a lot of energy to this garden. Of course, I just walked into a spider web. And their efforts will not go unappreciated. And the same goes with the current volunteers. They all do a great job. And you know, I can't say anything bad about any of them. But this is the newest tree for the most recent death among the volunteers. They will both be missed. Other than that, the garden, you know, it's looking okay. Like I said, some things are going into their slumber. A lot of these plants are perennials, so they'll be back. I'd say 99% of the plants in here, flowers, are perennials. We have a tree that was taken down here. It needed to come down before it came down on its own. People have been making little brick formations on it. And you can see in the back end of the fence here that there's a gap there. And the reason for that gap is because there is a root system under there that we just couldn't drill through. It's going to be either for this tree on the left or the one on the right, or both, and we didn't want to damage them and cause them to fall. So that opening is there. There's a couple of them in the back end that are open for similar reasons, but also where the set of pillars is in the back, you can now come in through that way, but it's not much of a path back there. But still, it was meant to be open on this side, and now it is. Opening over there because of that tree, opening over there because the path goes to it. So it's very similar to the old fence. The style is pretty much exact, but it's brand new, and this should hold up for a long time. After all this time, I still feel like I don't know how to explain it, like a special feeling, like a almost magical feeling every single time I come into this garden. Ever since that first time I walked through those pillars over there and came in here, I felt it, and I still do. What is in the hostas? Looks like roses. They sure are. Huh. I mean, I did see some plants over there by that bench, which, you know, was a bench that's in dedication to a young man that has passed. His family had it put there, so I'm guessing they put those there, but I don't know who would have put those roses in the hostas, which obviously you can see they're all going to sleep for the fall and winter. I think the only thing that really stays steady living is the ferns, and in the little pond over there, the grass, not the ornamental grass on the left side with the pink plumes, but the one that's actually inside the little pond. I think that stays looking pretty much like that most of the winter. Now this ornamental grass here, I had been watching it through most of the season. I didn't realize that it's more of a fall growing ornamental grass, which most of them are, I guess. And I started thinking, man, it's not going to come back. It looked beautiful the first year, and now this year it's finally come up. I mean, it's not as vibrant as it was the first year that they put it here, but it's still pretty impressive, I think. One last thing, and it has to do with that guy sitting up on the wall there. Humpty Dumpty. Obviously, he's been in much better shape, as you can see. But this winter, I finally got the okay to cover him up. So he's going to be covered up with some like clear, thick bags, and it's going to be tied off on the bottom so that no more moisture can get in. Because that's most of what the problem is with him, is that there was like little cracks, and then moisture or water would get in over the winter, then it would freeze and expand and pieces would break off, eventually leading to the side of his face having that big chunk missing out of it. I do know that there are, I don't want to say plans in the works, but there's ideas in the works of how we can help to restore Humpty back to what he's supposed to be. I have an idea myself, but I need to talk to the park manager and find out what I can and can't do. So I'm not going to give away anything about that right now. But even if I can't do anything, there are ways around things, and I'm not going to be satisfied until we can get him to a point where we don't have to worry about any more of him cracking off. That has actually been part of the plan since day one. Since I got the okay to become a volunteer and start digging up these paths and everything, I started with the chessboard over there in the corner, and I'm just realizing I didn't show the chessboard, and I do have a subscriber who loves when I show the chessboard, so I'm going to go over there. And the grass, even though it has leaves all over the place, the grass is looking a lot better than it did last year, and a lot of that has to do with that tree coming down because it was blocking the sun, and this grass is full sun. Wow, the wind's kicking up. And as I've mentioned before on quite a few occasions, this is the corner I started with. I worked my way out, and then eventually the next day, after day one, I saw that a couple of squares over here were dug out. I questioned the maintenance crew. They had no idea who did it. Found out it was some secret helpers, and then they became volunteers. The rest is history. You know, we just kept going, digging out paths, some of which weren't even on any maps, because we had hand-drawn maps of what the garden looked like. And there's some trails over there, or paths I should say, over there that were not in the hand-drawn map. And you could go back and see the whole process of digging this out, seeing what it looked like beforehand. Everything was just grass, pretty much. There was a couple of paths that were dug out, but that was it. And if it weren't for the help of the other volunteers, I might still be digging it out today. Well, maybe not. It's been 4.5 years, so maybe I'd have it done by now. But yeah, this was this whole project, once we got done and we started planting things and everything, I felt so good about what we did in helping to revitalize Robert Logan's garden. This place, I can't even begin to tell you how much it means to me. Will always hold a special spot in my heart. And so with that, I think I will take my leave of this place, as I am off today and here I am at work, but only because I love this place so much. Anyway, thank you for coming along with me and learning some new history that has to do with that building over there. And I'm just now noticing one of the spades is messed up, so I'm going to try to fix that before I leave if I can. Yeah, definitely thanks for coming along. Make sure you give this video a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, please hit that subscribe button. Once you hit that, hit the notification bell. That way you'll be sure to be notified when I upload new videos or when I go live, which I do pretty much every week on Mondays around 7 to 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. If you'd like to join, be part of the conversation, maybe make some suggestions if you know the area of places for me to check out, all are welcome and all can feel free. Anyway, I'm going to get out of here. I will see you all in the next one. Make sure you stay safe, stay healthy, and take care.